You're watching Japan Journal, the internet's #1 weekly English language online cybercast from Japan. Japan Journal with Mal Adams. This edition of Japan Journal features an episode of our new and improved series, Rap About It. We urge you to view our YouTube channel regularly for original content seen nowhere else on the internet or in the new meta-universe. Please click the like icon, the share button, and the notification bell, and then subscribe to this channel to be alerted when new video programs are uploaded and published. You'll be glad you did. Thank you very much for your ongoing support of our programming on GNN, the global news network, powered by TDM, the Totown digital metaverse platform.
And now here's your host, Malcolm Adams, and a sneak preview of a new, upcoming, episode playlist, featuring a few of his influential guests, regular content contributors, and celebrity creatives, who have already recorded classic interviews in the past. Please support our program promotional campaign by smashing that like button, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. You'll be glad you did. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your ongoing support of our programming on GNN, the global news network, powered by TDM, the Totown digital metaverse platform. And now your host, Mal Adams.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Japan Journal with your host, Mal Adams, here on the internet's #1 weekly English language online cybercast from Japan, Japan Journal with Mal Adams. And we are featuring a new episode of the Rap About It program, Rap About It with Mal Adams. And my special guest today to close out this year is Mr. Carl V. Moore. Carl was born on September 24, 1957 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, to Carl Lee Moore and Mary Elizabeth McDonald. The youngest of 5, Carl has 3 sisters, Annie, Carlene, Linda, and 1 brother, Fred. His mom, Mary Elizabeth, was a piano prodigy who also accompanied operatic vocalists as well as local church organizations and congregations. She insisted on a well-rounded musical education and experience for her son, so young Carl took to violin, viola, and brass instruction early on, And by the age of 13, he began secretly practicing piano. Arriving at school 2 to 3 hours before class, Carl would practice furiously until classes began. At the age of 14, he lost his mother, may she rest in eternal peace, and moved to California with his father. Later that same year, Carl was ordained as a minister by Bishop Charles Porter. It is a pleasure and an honor to have him join me here today as my special guest. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing him to you as a co-collaborator of this series of Rap About It, my dear brother, Carl Moore. What's up, my brother?
How are you doing now?
I'm doing much better now, man, because we're rolling and we're
Yeah,
recording live.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, it is an honor. It is truly an honor.
Man, we've come a
And
long
thank
way,
you.
bro. We've come a long way. And
Yeah. Oh, man.
whatever this represents by us coming together now on this new series, that ain't the whole story, man. We go back. Listen,
Man.
we can most immediately go back to where you helped host me in Omaha, Nebraska, when I went back to be inducted into the Omaha Press Club Hall of Fame at the end of
Yes,
September.
sir.
You and my
Yes,
nephew
sir.
Mike Adams. And boy, did
Yeah.
we have a lot to kick and talk about,
Oh,
because the last
man.
time I saw you two together was in Tokyo, Japan,
Yeah.
some years ago. So let's backtrack that way. Don't get it twisted. Carl put his footprint off in the Omaha cement years ago, and we'll get to that. But let me backtrack and talk about how this brother, what y'all don't know, is how we kicked it and how we rolled together in Tokyo, Japan. He's been part and parcel of my evolution in Japan, contributing to Totown Communications, which started in 1987, but he was one of the earlier contributors to that. So much so that I ended up putting him on CNN. So actually,
Yeah.
before I
Yeah.
started the company, I was the Tokyo correspondent for CNN when we first kicked it in Tokyo and featured you on my series This Week in Japan. Isn't that
Yes.
right?
You
Okay.
you did. You
Speak
did.
on
You
that, brother. Share that.
put me on the map. You even came to the studio and recorded. Um, I think I was recording my second little project,
Yeah, man.
and yeah, that changed my trajectory forever, forever. Yeah, yes, sir.
Well, you contributed to my methodology, which was to the greatest extent possible putting our African American culture on global broadcasts from Japan. What an
Exactly.
opportunity it
And
was. And I appreciate you contributing to that, my brother, and helping me with that goal, because we've got that video now, don't we, somewhere?
yeah, yeah, it's extant. It is out there.
It's out there. And then, ladies and gentlemen, what I must share with you is I call him the hardest working brother in Asian show business, because whatever
Man,
about being an expatriate in Japan as a musician and working and doing some gigs occasionally here and there, nightclub, hotel, this brother made it his own. We would
man, it
watch
was
him,
it
and
was just
he was legendary among the community there. We'd watch his brother run from club to club to club during weekdays, with his keyboard under his arm. He'd go to 20 minutes here, boom. Next thing you see me walking down the street, pop up in another building and go on the 17th floor, play in another club, boom. Next thing you know, come back down the street and go in this little alley and turn into that little bar, and boom, boom, boom. Man, he'd do 7, 8 clubs on a night until the wee hours of the morning. And I'm saying this brother's stacking more paper than I am, and I'm gainfully employed by a major news network. I gotta sit him down and see
well,
what's driving
that
you, man.
it was that Japanese work ethic, right? And
Indeed,
and man, 7 days a week, yeah. And the amount of opportunities
crazy.
just I had never seen anything like it.
Well,
I still have it to
you
this day.
certainly exploited it
Man, I did.
expertly, my brother.
We did my best.
Yes, we did my best. That's more with
We
more than
did
one of
my
you.
best. It was, but it was a great learning opportunity, you know,
Yeah.
because it helped me define me, right?
Okay.
Um, it helped me hone my craft, made me get better.
Man,
You play 10 hours a day every day, you're gonna get better,
you hit crazy chops, man.
or you're gonna have some sore arms, you know. And the just the welcoming, the
The
one thing,
appreciation and respect also for your
yeah,
craft, man.
yeah,
That's
you
what
know,
was clear in the
hadn't got
Japanese
that,
community, man.
hadn't got that in the States,
No, man.
had not received that in the States,
No.
and man, it was tremendous, really, really tremendous, and to this day, just people like Bobby Watson, who took me under his wing and
Go ahead, shout them
put
out.
me in
Call
the
the names. People
studio.
don't know.
Yeah,
You mean
man. And
Rufus?
then he turned
You
around
mean
and let
Rufus Bobby Watts?
yeah, he let me play
Chaka
with the
Khan?
reunion. I was always a Rufus
Tony Maiden?
fanatic.
Yeah, man.
And when I got a chance to play with him and Tony Maiden
Tony Maiden, brother.
and Andre and
Mm.
oh man, Maxan,
Maxan,
uh
shout out to Maxan. She's gonna be on the
man,
series too, by the way. I'm
yeah,
reaching back and
well,
getting
you know, I
all
said
the
I
Tokyo.
love you and I appreciate you.
Yeah, we
Thank
do.
you
We'll
and
shout her out
thank
right
you
now.
again.
We do love her and we do appreciate
Um,
her. But
Warnell,
Warnell, shout out to Warnell. You know,
yes,
you naming
yes.
all the upcoming guests on the show. Warnell, Marty Brace,
Yes, yeah, you can't leave Marty out. I
the
can't leave Marty.
godfather of all. He
Yeah,
proceeds. Yeah,
and,
man.
and
Yes, sir.
they were so instrumental in taking time and helping me just helping me get work.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
know, you can't we are none of us any more than the people who bent down and let us climb up on their shoulders.
Absolutely. We stand on big shoulders,
So
my brother. We got to acknowledge them.
that the
But
chief one,
but your shoulders were stood upon, my brother. Let me share that too, because you accomplished some things in your exploitation of the opportunity that faced you in Japan by your work ethic, number one. But you worked so hard, you performed so well that it carried you into another realm of your professional activity, based on my observation, because I saw you doing external projects for Japanese people, Japanese artists, groups, and events and stuff. I said, man,
yeah.
what's Carl doing, man? He's on TV doing something, man, like lecturing and what? You know, and the studio
Yeah,
work,
yeah.
right? Speak on
It,
that.
it, just um the Janet Jackson and the Chuck Berry and uh, oh, there was a movie that Real Ryoku Sakamoto
Sure.
was the uh, it was like a biographical pic of him, and they allowed me to. I don't know why they wanted me, but they allowed me to do a little
You came
cameo
highly
piano plays.
recommended. That's why.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah. But
Yeah,
those things were, oh man, just once in a lifetime opportunity.
yeah, really,
Once
really.
in a lifetime.
And
And
and has changed considerably since the bubble economy that Japan
yeah,
had. Japan
yeah.
was number one in the world, baby. I don't care. In terms of the top five major industrialized nations on the planet,
Yeah.
Japan exceeded to be number one if you did the counting, the calculation properly. You know,
Hmm.
automobile industry and all of the things, the technological advantages that they had in terms of microelectronics and all of that. What was that device? The little handheld Walkman, and all these devices. We got so
Yeah,
many now, but
yeah,
Japan started a book on all of that stuff, man. Computer
yeah.
technology and whatnot. What a blessing it was, man. What a blessing. I owe a lot to my life in Japan, brother, for making me the entrepreneur that I became, and then helping the facilitation of all of that with the camaraderie of the black community, if I might say so,
Mm-hmm.
that we all bounced off each other and contributed to each other's expertise. Just an amazing experience, man. As expatriate Americans living our lives and being who we want to be in Japan, a country not of our own, but being hosted by
Exactly.
people who loved, respected, admired, and appreciated what we
Yeah.
brought to the party, my brother.
Yeah. That
And
was.
I ain't going nowhere. I'm still here.
I don't
45 years
blame
and
you.
running
I
and
don't blame
counting.
you.
I raised 2 families, man, 4 children. Grew up here. And I got
Mm.
6 beautiful grandchildren because of that experience. Real beautiful human beings that I was able to
Yeah.
raise here and now,
Yeah. Well,
living in California. So
you've always been my go-to sensei. Anything that we were trying to do, Mal had already done it first or was in the process of doing it.
well, I was
So,
blessed to be able to pioneer because of the position I held as a
yes,
network
yes,
news
sir.
correspondent on American networks, CBS initially, and then CNN, having contributed to the establishment of the first overseas bureau of the fledgling CNN network, 24-hour news, cable TV.
You took me to a G7 meeting. I was so scared to death. I mean,
What?
I had never been around. I was literally dumbstruck.
Man, I
You
forgot
got
all
the
about
impressed
this,
pass
man.
and had me go in with you, and
Wow.
we watched world leaders parade by for an hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I was able to share my access, man. I had the biggest microphone in Tokyo, brother. On
yeah,
CNN, you
yeah,
kidding me? I'd walk up on prime ministers.
yeah,
Boom.
yeah, yeah.
Talk to
Yes,
me.
sir.
Heads of
Man,
state, presidents coming over here, including
mm,
George Bush Sr., you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
all of them. So anyway, that's just the Japan part of the story, my brother. And but that was preceded by your participation in Omaha, Nebraska. How did you get from Oklahoma to Omaha? What was the occasion you initially started there? Shout out to all our brothers and sisters in Omaha, Nebraska who may be watching this. Check this
Yeah,
out. Talk to me,
my
man.
um Omaha. Oh my God. I don't know where to start.
Oh my God, Omaha.
Uh Salem Inspirational Choir. And
Salem, right?
yeah,
Baptist Salem,
and
Baptist. Okay,
James Cleveland
okay.
recording I Don't Feel No Ways Tired, which got a Grammy nomination.
Wow.
And some of the musicians in the city knew me and asked me to come along. And that was tremendous. That right there was tremendous.
No,
Um,
you participated in the recording of that tune or a live performance? What
both
was that?
nights, both nights,
Mm.
they recorded two albums. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting what year it was back then in the 70s. They recorded 2 albums. That's when Savoy Records would roll up to your church with a trailer with two 24-track recorders
In the back of the
with the
truck.
big fat 2-inch tape. And they hooked up to the sound system of Salem Inspirational Baptist Church. And man, what an experience. I played bass the first night. I played
Wow.
piano the second night. Um, but just the people that I met and the experience of doing that, and shoot, man, I could have only been 21. I might
Wow.
have been 20. Um,
Wow.
but it was tremendous. And I was coming from Washington, D.C. I had a fellowship with the Smithsonian Institute. And after that was over, I went to Omaha to run a revival.
Okay.
and stayed on. I just stayed on. Um, but then my musical education really started. Uh, Miss Jean Rogers, Carol Rogers,
Yeah.
even Billy Rogers.
Yeah.
Um,
Our brother from another mother, you know.
yeah.
Bad boy
Redhead
on guitar,
son.
right?
Yeah. Billy played all the guitar you wanted to hear, and
Oh,
then some.
and then some.
Um,
Hmm.
Shabaka, Bobby
Ah,
Griffo with the orchestra,
yes, sir.
Mr. Preston Love, Stemsy,
Stemsy.
Luigi, man,
Ooh,
all of these people
man, you were there in the
took
heyday,
time and
brother.
poured into me. I even did 2 years with the University of Nebraska Educational TV Department, where I was uh, just a piano playing character in a literature program for fourth graders.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, that was mm,
Hey, man, you
lots
like
lots
that's
of
how
music
Morgan Freeman got started
on
on
electric company. Yes,
on the
sir.
electric company, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
So,
he did. Yeah,
yeah,
he did. And um, my oldest daughter and my grandson are still in Omaha to this very day.
really.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
that's right. Because when we were there in September, you went to check them out. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that Omaha connection, man, that was really a musical college.
Yeah, man.
We'd be playing. Miss Jean Rogers and some of the other veterans would come and hear us, and sit in the back of the room and holler, "Play what you know, baby. Play
Mm,
what you know. Don't try that other stuff."
wow, wow,
Yeah, yes,
interesting.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It
well,
it it helped me. It helped
so
me.
bring us up to today. You are now producing other artists in addition to new music that you continue to archive into your files. You've got a treasure trove of stuff. As a matter of fact, just introduce your current experience and tell us what you're doing, what's keeping you busy, because you are very busy. Matter of fact, as we speak, you just told me you're producing something for one of your new artists on your label.
Yes, yeah, I have a project that we're working on for Steve Braxton, an up and coming singer, and we're excited. We're excited. He's going to do great things.
Okay,
Um,
is he based in Oklahoma?
yes,
Okay.
he is.
Hmm.
Um, and we're getting ready for the Metaverse.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We are getting ready to kick off all shackles, demolish barriers,
Oh boy.
and
Before
we're
we get
really
into that,
going to
let me
unlock
share.
creativity.
Excuse me. We want to get into that in detail, and let's do that after I share with them some of your latest stuff that's yet to be published.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and please set us up this tune, Heaven's Design. Give me the background on that, and I'm going to share a snippet of that with our
Okay.
listeners. Talk to me about that.
Heather's design is on the new project, my new trio project.
Hmm.
Um, it's already recorded. It's in the can. It's
Okay.
waiting. I have just been so busy that I have not couldn't devote the time that it takes to push a new release. I already have 2 releases that are currently out and playing, and this is a third one in a year.
Hmm.
I was ambitious, and then a lot of other stuff came along, but this is an attempt to catch lightning in a bottle. I had 2 wonderful uh, accompanists, a brother from Canada
Hmm.
named Joe Richard, another brother from New York, who's a drummer and instructor named Mark Giamario. And I was, after playing some gigs with him, I was determined that we captured that on record. So we went in the studio, and this trio album, from which you're going to hear a little bit of Heaven's Design, that is me trying to catch lightning in a bottle. Catch
Okay.
this
All
trio
right.
sound.
Let's
Wow.
check it out a little bit. Let's make sure I've got audio up.
Just got home to your letter. It comes as no surprise, and I know that I could have done better, and I realize that there's something more you wanted from me, but I wouldn't comply. And I know that I could have done better. I was so occupied in my world with my things. You were so alone. Now I'm ready to make a change, 'cause I know that you're my own, and I'm no good on my own. There's no one better than you for me. My heart must have been blind, and I know that
Hey, really nice.
They are just great musicians.
Jamming. Really tasty. Yeah, man. Wow.
I'm excited about that project. That's
Is that due to come out soon?
yes, that will be out in February of 2022.
Okay. All right. So nice. Now, among all the stuff you have in the treasure chest right now, you and I both, we collaborate with a small group of my friends here in Japan. Got a couple of Islamic brothers who are code writers, and you accommodated us by joining our initial collaboration meeting, just to let the folks know that as a media guy and a record company owner and a guy who deals with audio-visual things, video production and whatnot, it has come to be to realize that I need to stay with the trend to reinvent my organization for the upcoming decade. And what it represents is a plunge into the new metaverse. Now, Carl and I had reunited and collaborated and began sharing our interest in that. And I found out that he was ahead of me, already involved as a record producer and an artist himself, who saw the importance of plunging into the metaverse in terms of what I knew as a 35-year record company owner who deals with copyrights, who deals with contracts, who deals with publishing, manufacturing, and distribution. The potential that waited for us in getting involved in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Speak on that initially. What is the motivation? What have you discovered as an artist that would serve Black music in particular and the history that we have through the evolution of Black music? How are we now going to be protected, and how is our creativity and our intellectual property going to be enhanced and protected through this new
Yeah.
aspect of it all.
Now we can harness our own creativity. Now we can break all the barriers.
Okay.
We can leap into the metaverse with the permanent web, with the interplanetary file system,
Mhm.
so that while the rest of the industry is trying to create platforms to manipulate and control and market non-fungible tokens, we're in the metaverse,
Mm.
creating worlds of artists and artistry. And so in a permanent web, not the World Wide Web, the permanent web,
Right.
we
The
can
WWW3, yeah.
we can store, manipulate, create our own art. Now our art forms don't have to be limited to the music. Doesn't have to just be music. Music can be music in the pictures I took that day, music and the essay I wrote that day,
Right on.
music and the interview that Mal and I did.
That's right.
Now the world of what constitutes art, the barriers have been broken down.
In the form of
And
digital media.
in this new world, because blockchain technology creates a one and only, I can build in the metaverse we are building. We'll build our own smart contracts in. The amounts of usage and the times of usage will be built into each art piece that we create. We will build in how many people can own it.
All
How many times
the terms and conditions.
Or here's our greatest asset. We can reward those who buy it and pass it along to future buyers.
Absolutely.
So that you can not only be a consumer of the art, but you can be a contributor to the artist.
And an investor.
At the same time. And every time that non-fungible, and here's the scary part. With the interplanetary file system, we are going to leap past NFTs into an unknown world that only we make.
Absolutely.
That if you want to get access to the thousands and thousands of interviews that Mal Adams has done over the years, you got to come to the Mal Adams metaverse.
Right.
You can only get it there.
And to the extent that, if I may show this model, which has existed from the time recording contracts started and record labels, with all the history of the great artists that created the music,
Yeah.
were required to be exploited through contractual relationships with others. We're not going to name any names, but you know the record company labels, you know the record company presidents and owners who would contract the music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any kind of negotiation fine would be serving the artist, okay, I'm going to pay you this much money for this particular term and under these conditions. But I will be the manufacturer and the distributor, and I will determine how much the music is sold, and I'll determine the percentages to which you will be given access and shared. So
Yeah.
that's how I came up in the midstream of all of that business, knowing and learning all that stuff, writing my own contracts and assigning my own distributors. And here in Japan, Totown
Yeah.
Records, born and
Yeah.
raised in Japan. So it was a little bit easier because it was a little bit more transparent than it had been historically in the United States system
Yeah.
with African American artists. So right now, I'm licensing brothers' music from America. Send me a DAT. Remember digital audio tape?
Yes. Yes, sir.
That was the master.
Yes, sir.
Back in the
Yes,
day,
sir.
it was a tape recording that ended up on wax and plastic. So I would take that master and then offer it to any Japanese company, manufacturer, or distributors. Okay, we need an advance on the master. I'll license it to you for 3 years to exploit it the best way you can, and then you share your revenues with us. So it would go something like this. I would call you, Carl, and say, man, send me that master, baby, if it's not contracted just yet, because I got an avenue for that through my Totown affiliated distributor here in Japan. I'd take your master, then I would license it to the distributing company for a period of 3 years. And then he would agree to produce marketable units in the form of CDs of that at a price that you and I and you agreed upon and I agreed upon and they agreed upon for each unit. Let's say 2,000 yen, which is $20 roughly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they would sell that product for that fixed amount, that agreed upon amount, and 15% of that revenue then would come back to me and you, and we would share the percentage, 50-50 or 60-40 for you or whatever we agreed upon. And but the accounting for how much was actually sold, we had no way of confirming. We had to wait for the monthly statements to come and say, okay, we only sold several thousand units this month, and here's your take. But now, don't forget, here's the tricky part, and here's what a lot of hip-hop artists got tricked out. They hit me with 1,000,000 yen at the top, which represents like 10,000 US dollars. And I'd take that and say, Carl, here's our advance, baby, and I'd send you 500,000 yen or $5,000. And then all we had to do is sit and wait for them to start selling enough in the amount that recouped that initial advance to me. So when they sold 1,000,000 plus 1 yen of product, then each sale after that, we'd share 15%. And out of a 10-album deal that I got back in the early 90s, they only recouped half of it. So good luck, we took the advance and moved on. But now, with the smart contract in the Metaverse, all that stuff is embedded in there, so you can't steal from us, you can't cheat, you can't bootleg it. Every transaction is documented and digitally embedded into that device. That would be in the form of a photo, or piece of audio, a picture, or whatever kind of entity that is embedded into our Metaverse platform. In my case, I'm going to open a mini mall where your record company can have a shop. You'll lease some space in my Metaverse, the Totown Digital Media Mall, Metaverse Mall. That's the concept. So that we can collaborate with one another. Okay, you can access my entity, which is a sovereign business realm, right? Exactly. Can't be beaten, can't be cheated. Because I got my thumbprint and my footprint on it. And a wallet sitting there for whatever evolved from the transactions. They deposit digitally into my wallet there, man. Yeah. And that's the crypto aspect of the cryptocurrency aspect of it. So what I'm announcing to you, our listeners, is this is what it is now with black art and creativity. Don't miss it. Get with it. Study upon it. And there's a lot of brothers out there who are knowledgeable and expert about it. And I share you the information, and we will share as we continue to evolve. But this is what's going on between Brother Carl Moore and myself, and a handful of other brothers here that we formed. What do we call it? A co-op? Is that what they thought about? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And so it's exciting, and that's what's
Very.
gonna.
I'm
Yeah, I'm gonna
extremely
ride this
excited.
horse the next 20 years till I can't think
And
or stand up.
we've never had this degree of control
Right.
and freedom.
Right. It's amazing. Man.
Never, not to my knowledge.
So give me some specifics. Just you don't have to go deep dive. People can listen and go do their own research as to what it is. So you've already have you started your platform yet? Created your platform? Talk to me about it.
I started
Found a way to build it, right?
NFTs.
Yeah.
I started creating NFTs with 2 of the existing platforms, and then had my socks blown off with my discovery of the interplanetary file system.
Wow.
And so now I am uploading my new creative works of art, which, for example,
Okay.
one is the transcriptions of several compositions with some rambling and explanatory notes,
Sure.
and in the form of a journal. And this particular, I have several compositions that have been covered by some other artists.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
so I just made a transcription of them and included the essays along with it. And that particular work will become one file
Right.
in the permanent web, the permanent internet.
We call it a one-on-one or a one-to-one, which means
Yes.
if it's replicated or copied, it's determinable. It's verifiable.
Each subsequent copy has to have a different original number.
Absolutely.
So the API is going to be different for each subsequent copy.
So,
I have not decided how many copies I will authorize in the initial offering. I don't know whether to do 10 or 100, but it'll be limited. And
but the original is gonna be like, just to share the person. Your Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Come on, there ain't but one.
Yeah. And you can read it, you can download it, you can
play it back
if you want to, but
watch it in 3D or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Download it as a photograph or whatever.
What we'll do is create a chain of artwork so that the person that buys the transcripts and the essays will want to buy the studio recorded version, and then they'll want to buy the live version, and then so you create
or the video representation.
Yes, and another link in an ever lengthening chain. So
which will all be right now is all accessible on the Oculus Google set. My God, it's crazy.
It is.
If you didn't know, now you know, folks.
Oh man,
you need to get ready.
The possibilities are endless.
I mean, cookie, your favorite spaghetti menu recipe.
Yeah,
boom, whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And with these new technology that you can put on the Oculus uniform and actually get the chills and smell the it's crazy. So, man, it's scary to contemplate that it's a new universe, a new world, a new place of existence. It's really, you know, some folks are getting psychologically bent on these games that now exist. Talk about artificial intelligence and virtual reality. Are you kidding? What's the reality? Which one's real?
They are
So
camping out.
Yeah,
in virtual reality.
absolutely. So, as creatives, then what we do is just give them more stuff to entertain themselves with sovereignty and assurance that we won't be exploited.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then what we haven't mentioned is the potential for profiting and
Oh,
generating
yeah.
revenues just beyond your
Yeah.
imagination, my brother. So, yeah, well, listen, on recurring visits, I want you to help school our people as much as we can and continue schooling me. You're helping me make my transition into the metaverse. Appreciate you. And we'll keep doing our homework. I mean, for ladies and gentlemen, this is an interview for publication, but what you don't hear is when he and I go on and have 4-hour conversations, flattening
Yeah.
our learning curve about this new business that ain't
Yeah.
no joke.
Yeah.
So,
I
so
mean,
my
and
brother,
it don't take long for 4 hours to pass by.
man, in a heartbeat.
But
It's either his morning and my wee hours of the morning because of the time thing, or vice versa. I'm hitting him up at noon today, the day after he's. I'm talking to him yesterday in America,
yeah.
and it's my noon
Yeah.
today. So all of that stuff gets, in the metaverse. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Time
Yeah,
is but an
baby.
illusion in the metaverse,
Yeah.
my brother.
Yeah. It is
Time is only an
malleable. You
illusion.
can
Yep.
make it what you need it to be.
Thank you very much. Program it. Program it. Well, bro, let me
Well, I'm
just.
excited.
Yeah, man, you can see my enthusiasm. I'm very much excited, and we'll continue to share because that's what it's all about, man. Reaching back and getting people involved, to seek
Hmm.
their real, virtual, but real freedom, justice, and equality
Yes. Yes.
in a
Yes.
in a new universe. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
go there? Sovereignty, all of that. Yeah.
And it means so much when you can dictate the terms of your own freedom. We are no longer having freedom described to us. We are no
And
longer.
and I mentioned the fiat currency that we're
Yeah.
encumbered by right now. A piece of dollar, heap of paper. What's behind it? Nothing.
Nothing.
Federal Reserve Bank credibility used to be gold,
They printing them like toilet paper.
written them like toilet paper, and now we got cryptocurrency, which is as good as it gets, baby. Boom. As
Yeah.
fluctuant as it is, it may be still. You control that part of it too because you create the
Hmm.
economy behind your entity, right? In your
Exactly.
smart contract.
Exactly.
Sell as many as you want or limited it so the
Hmm.
value goes up,
Hmm.
you know. Well, my brother, listen, it's so exciting. We'll be talking for another 4 hours if we keep on
I
because
know.
this is
I know.
what we
There's
do.
obviously there's got to be a part 2, right?
Oh, my goodness. Subsequent parts, no doubt.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you very much for participating in this introductory part as a collaborator of the Japan Journal and the Rap About It with Brother Mal in Japan as our regular contributor, handling all of these things about technology, music, and creativity. Boom, coming to you for that as we continue to reach out to our viewers globally on GNN, the Global News Network, and Japan Journal, the Internet's #1 weekly English language online cybercast from Japan, and this episode of Rap About It with Mal Adams. I appreciate your viewership. We appreciate your support. Like us, share us, subscribe to us, and what's the other one? Hit that notification button so you'll be advised as to when Carl Moore will be coming back again next time. So until then, I wish you all a very happy new year, peace, love, and prosperity, and health to you all. Brother Carl as well, man.
Thank you, sir. The
Yeah,
very same to you, man. I appreciate you.
likewise. And we'll redo this again.
Yes.
All right, and keep sharing his new music. Can I take him out on another song of
Yeah.
yours?
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
let me see what we got here. Let me go share this screen, man, and fade y'all out. Y'all can fade out on this.
Hello, life before. I hope that we've grown, 'cause We were only children then. For lives, I guess we both can say I knew you when. But then again, that's kiss and tell.
You're watching Japan Journal, the internet's #1 weekly English language online cybercast from Japan. Japan Journal with Mal Adams. This edition of Japan Journal features an episode of our new and improved series, Rap About It. We urge you to view our YouTube channel regularly for original content seen nowhere else on the internet or in the new meta-universe. Please click the like icon, the share button, and the notification bell, and then subscribe to this channel to be alerted when new video programs are uploaded and published. You'll be glad you did. Thank you very much for your ongoing support of our programming on GNN, the global news network, powered by TDM, the Totown digital metaverse platform.